Hi everyone and welcome back to Perima's Kitchen. I am Selena and today we are going to be cooking up some mutton biryani. I'm sure everybody has different variations, but today I'm cooking it up just the way my husband likes it. I hope you enjoy this recipe. I'm using 1 kg of curried pieces today. I normally do use a B grade, but today I'm using lamb, so it will take a little bit faster than usual. So I'm going to start with the marinade, which you can do the night before. You can also do the marinade completely separately, then add your meat. I'm doing it directly on the meat itself. In total, I use about 3/4 of a cup of sour milk to 1 kg of meat. I added half now. I will add another quarter later. Next, I'm adding 1 heaped teaspoon of roasted dhania powder, a heaped teaspoon of Jeera powder, half a teaspoon of Somph powder, a leveled teaspoon of Garam Masala, a heaped teaspoon of turmeric. I'm also adding a heaped teaspoon of ground biryani mix. I do also use whole biryani mix in the cooking as well. Next, I'm adding my masala. I'm adding 4 tablespoons. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons to 1 kg. Next is my chili powder, 2 tablespoons. That's 1 and 2. We can now mix everything together. If it's easier for you, you can do your marinade first and then add your meat. Once we've mixed it a little bit, we will then add the balance of the sour milk. So remember, it's 3/4 in total. I'm still going to add another quarter. I don't usually add too much of mas or sour milk because I feel like it changes the color. But if you're comfortable with it and you like it like that, then go ahead. I've just added some fine salt, but I will still add some rough salt when I'm cooking. I'm adding the balance of the sour milk now, so that's a 1/4 cup. Mix it all in again. And finally, once it's all mixed, I'm adding a heaped teaspoon of ginger and garlic. And that's my marinade. So it's all ready. You can cover it and put it in your fridge or set it aside if you're going to start cooking immediately. So let's move on to the rest of the biryani components. I have 3 cups of basmati rice boiling. Add 1 stick of cinnamon. Next, I'm adding about half a teaspoon of turmeric, salt to taste, and finally I add about 2 or 3 cardamom ilachi pods. I'm not going to cook my basmati rice completely. I want it to parboil so it can steam further in the biryani mix. Next is my potatoes. If you want to fry it, go ahead, but do try it this way. Boil your potatoes first and then we're going to grill it. It is so delicious. I add a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. Next, I add my salt to taste. And finally, I add a heaped teaspoon of butter. Let that dissolve into the water. Let everything boil together. We want to get it 3/4 way done. And then I'm going to grill it in the oven. And this makes for the perfect potato in your biryani because it's super soft inside and crispy on the outside. Next, we're moving on to lentils. I'm using black lentils and I'm using 1 cup, which is about 250 grams. I add a cinnamon stick to the lentils, a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, salt to taste. And finally, my little secret touch, which is fresh mint. I just enjoy the taste of it. I sometimes even use fresh thyme. Lentils has a little bit of a sandy taste, and this gives it a more subtle, fragrant taste. You can add your oil. If you're following Never Hungry recipes, you can add 2 tablespoons of olive oil or coconut oil. I'm adding 2 large onions. So we want our onions to brown a bit. I'm not adding any of my whole spices just yet. So if you like some onions, some browned onions on your biryani when you are garnishing, this is the point that we brown it up. I'll add a bit of turmeric next, and then I will remove some of the onions. If you don't like an onion garnish, you can just skip this part. So I've waited for it to brown. I've added half a teaspoon of turmeric. This just helps with the color a little. I let it fry a little longer, and as soon as I'm happy with the color, I drain my onions and take about a spoonful out and keep it in a bowl. So this is more than enough for my garnish. I still do have enough onions in my pot. I'm now going to add my whole biryani mix. I'm just making sure I get a little bit of everything into the pot. So it's my bay leaf, my cloves, my jeera seeds, and some cardamom pods. And next, just to add that little bit of heat, I'm adding 3 green chillies and some fresh thyme and curry leaf. We want the chillies, the fresh thyme, and the curry leaf to fry together with the biryani mix and the onions. Don't rush it again. Take it easy and wait for that aroma before you start adding your meat. In just a few seconds, it'll smell absolutely divine. This is my favorite. I love the scent of all of these spices. And I'm now ready to add my meat. Once I've added all my meat, including all of the residue in the bowl, you can stir it up into the spices and the hot oil. Let it sear a little bit. And then add some rough salt. Remember, we only added a little bit of fine salt in our marinade. So you can add your rough salt. And then we'll close the lid and let it simmer for at least 30 minutes. Bear in mind, I'm using lamb, so the cooking time is faster than other meats. You need to occasionally check up. I'm checking up right now. I will give it a slight mix and let it cook further. So while we are waiting for our lamb to cook, I'm going to move on to the potatoes. The potatoes were 3/4 of the way cooked. I just removed it from the boiling water and I put it into my oven. You can also dust a little bit of egg yellow on it if you want to. I roast them at 180 degrees for about 20 minutes. This gives it that crispy outside and super soft and yummy in the inside. And because of that crispiness on the outside, it won't break easily. And after 20 minutes, the potatoes are ready. It's got a lovely crisp outside. I'm just going to add them all to the bowl and set them aside. The lamb is almost ready and I will add it straight into the pot. Our lamb is ready. The color is superb. It's now ready for the potatoes. Try to get a little bit of the potatoes into the gravy. And once you've done, we can start adding the lentils. I removed the cinnamon stick from the lentils. I'm now dropping the lentils into the pot and will spread it evenly. Also try to get the lentils into the gravy as well. Let it soak up some of that delicious gravy. Next, I'm going to layer it with some fresh dhania. Once I've added all my dhania, I then add some fresh mint. You need to turn your stove down to low. We are going to start adding our rice next and then let it steam for about 15 minutes on a very low heat. So I'm going to move on to the rice and just show you how to do the egg yellow coloring. I remove the cinnamon stick from the basmati rice, and in a separate bowl I add 2 heaped spoonfuls, well 2.5 heaped spoonfuls of rice. I then add a teaspoon of egg yellow coloring and mix it into the rice. We will set it aside. We'll add it when we're mixing our biryani and sprinkle some on the top when we are garnishing. We will now move on and start layering our rice. So now I'm just adding my rice. You can even add lentils into your rice if you wanted to. I am going to mix it all up together anyway. I'm now going to add most of the colored rice. I will keep a little for when we are ready to garnish. You can spread it around evenly, and then I'm adding 2 tablespoons of melted butter. You can just drizzle that all over the top. If you'd like to use ghee, you can use ghee instead. Next, I'm going to toss everything in slowly. You don't have to worry too much about the potatoes now because it was roasted on the outside. But take big scoops from the bottom so you can get all that lentils and all that gravy mixed into your rice and butter and your colored rice as well. We want all the flavors, the mint, the dhania to blend throughout the biryani. Once I've mixed the biryani adequately, I then sprinkle the rest of the colored rice over the top, and then we will let it steam all together for about 15 minutes on a very low heat. I'm not going to drizzle any boiling water, but if you feel that it's not moist enough, you can do so. After about 15 minutes of steaming, it's all nice and hot. We will now garnish. First with my onions. Again, just spread it evenly. And then the final touch, some fresh dhania. The biryani is moist. It will be so delicious. You can serve it with some brinjal dal, pickles and salad, or sour milk salad. Enjoy and have a beautiful day. Please subscribe. Kindly hit the notification bell so you are notified when a new video is uploaded. Please like and share, and your comments are always very welcome. See you again soon in Perima's kitchen.